right. Oh, it's on. Welcome, everybody. My name is Dinah Stevens, and I am the program manager for Age Friendly Seattle, and this is the February Civic Coffee event. So big thanks to the East Africa Senior Center for having us here today. A couple things before we get started. Our program will be in English, but we do have interpretation in both Tigrinya and Amharic, so if you need support, let us know. I'll ask my presenters here to speak slowly so our interpreters can keep up. But if at any point you need something repeated, feel free to let us know. We do this event monthly in partnership with the Seattle Public Library, so I want to thank our public library friends. And I also want to thank WA Cares for partially funding this event, and to remind folks that if you're curious about long-term care insurance that's available to you or your family, there's a new program called WA Cares that can offer up to, I believe, $36,000 a year or lifetime benefit. So if you want more information about that, it can support in-home care, transportation, home modifications. It's brand new, super exciting. So we've got information about that over here at our table. And with that, I think those are our housekeeping announcements. So I'm going to kick off our discussion today. Thank our panelists in advance for being here. We're talking today about chronic care or chronic pain management. How many of you yourselves or you know someone who suffers from chronic pain? Raise your hand. I see a few folks. This is a really common issue that a lot of people are grappling with. Just continual chronic pain or other symptoms that you're trying to manage. And no matter what the cause of your chronic pain might be and your chronic disease, there's a lot of similarities in the way those can be addressed.
There's a background noise somewhere coming from.
Okay, so I'm going to pause to see if we want to address any of the, is it on the headset? Okay, keep going. Okay. So hopefully folks can hear me okay. If not, let us know. We'll try to troubleshoot. Better? Okay. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about some behavior and lifestyle changes that you can make to help manage chronic disease and chronic pain. And we're also going to be talking about medications that can help so that people aren't suffering. No one should have to suffer unnecessarily. So with that, I want to introduce our two panelists, one of whom is my colleague at the City of Seattle, Mary Pat O'Leary. She is a RN, a registered nurse, and she also works for the Seattle Aging and Disability Services. She has been with the city for over 30 years, over 47 years in the nursing fields, and that has included staff development, overseeing programs, managing evidence-based programs, collaborating with the University of Washington's Geriatric Workforce Enhancement Center, serving on the Dementia Action Collaborative at the state level. She currently, yeah, I'm going to stop here. It seems like we have a question.
I'm doing simultaneous and said two people talking at the same time.
Oh, we're good? Okay. Okay. Just gotta resituate ourselves, I think. So Mary Pat, I'm glad she's here today. As a colleague of hers, I know she's a wealth of knowledge, so looking forward to hearing from her. And Holly, is it Sale? Seiler, sorry.
That's okay.
She is a pharmacist resident with the Kelly Ross Pharmacy Group. She has earned her doctorate in pharmacy from the University of Washington. And her work focuses on compounding pharmacies to provide medications that are not readily available, so things that might be hard to get. She spends her time working with community members, and she's recently developed a new service for patients to receive rapid strep throat tests and treatment if possible. So that sounds very useful, so thank you for working on that. She also works alongside the King County Aging and Disability Services to provide educational content, which is part of why she's here today. So with that, I'm going to kick it off with Mary Pat. And Mary Pat, if you can, let's see, out of order here. So a lot of people live with more than one chronic condition, right? So Mary Pat, can you share what's one challenge that you see often and how people can start addressing it if someone is really new to thinking about these issues?
Okay.
I'm gonna hand the microphone.
Thank you for the question, Dinah. I would say that one of the biggest challenges is trying to focus on everything that's going on with you at the same time. For instance, if you have diabetes or high blood pressure or pain because of arthritis, you're trying to manage them all at once. And so that's the biggest challenge. Really important to focus on or pay attention to the one thing that's bothering you the most. It might be pain, it might be your blood sugar, it might be dizziness. What is the one thing that's bothering you the most? And then talk with your health care provider and thinking about what is one thing that you can do. Just one thing that you can do. It might be having one good healthy meal. It might be taking pain medication if your doctor told you to take a pain medication. So it's important to not get overwhelmed. Focus on one thing at a time.
Okay. Can I ask you a follow-up, Mary Pat? Which is, can you give some examples of what like that one thing might be?
One thing could be, as I said, eating a balanced diet, making sure that you're getting fruits and vegetables and protein. It might be taking a pain medication. It might be doing a stretching exercise. Just one thing that you can focus on that can make your life easier for you.
Thank you. Okay, so first thing, don't feel overwhelmed by the many symptoms you might be experiencing. Just identify the one thing that's causing you the most discomfort or stress and tackle that. So Holly, now I want to ask you, a lot of people are taking multiple medications for multiple different things, right?
They need to come because we confuse two voices together, so
Slow down a bit. Okay. Okay, I'll wait for you. You'll continue? Okay, tell me if you want us to stop. Okay. Okay. So Holly, what should people know about managing several prescriptions safely?
Hi everyone, good morning. So one thing I would recommend to manage several prescriptions safely together is to stick with one pharmacy. Many medications can interact with one another, and your pharmacist can look for those, but if you get your prescriptions filled at different locations, the pharmacist might not be able to check for those interactions with each other.
Okay. That's a very concrete tip. Can you share
She said, the prescription is from different pharmacy.
Oh, okay. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's ask Holly how to handle that. Can you repeat the question also?
Yeah, thanks for your question. If you have your prescriptions at different pharmacies already, it depends on what the prescription is, but usually you can transfer them into one pharmacy that is most convenient for you. I like to focus on pharmacies that might be close to you or maybe can deliver to you.
But, and Holly, can you share like exactly how someone would go about consolidating those prescriptions in one place?
Yeah, to consolidate and combine your prescriptions to one place, you will call the pharmacy or visit the pharmacy where you want your prescriptions to all go to and ask them to transfer it from your old pharmacy. So you will need to be able to tell them where you were getting them before.
Okay, so just to repeat this because I think this is a common problem. I know I've dealt with this with my own father. So if you want to consolidate your prescriptions in one location, go to the location that you want them consolidated at. Bring with you a list of your medications and the other places where those are currently being filled, and ask your preferred pharmacy to do the work of consolidating them for you. The pharmacist can do that for you. Mm-hmm. You just need to ask.
Yes.
Any more questions about this topic?
What's the problem if we, suppose the prescription is right, and if we take from different, what is problem?
Okay. So the question is, why is it a problem if they're at different locations? I'm gonna have Holly answer this again.
Thanks for your question. It's not necessarily a problem, but again, many medications can interact with each other, and the pharmacies don't always talk to one another. So I might not be able to tell if your medications interact if I don't know all of the medications you're on.
So I'm gonna ask Holly if this is accurate, but I think there's a temptation to think of the pharmacist as just the person who you pay your copay to and who hands you the pills. But your pharmacist can actually be like another doctor that has oversight of all of your medications and can help you understand the side effects, the contradictions that they might have together. Is that right, Holly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So moving away from the pharmacy location question, I'm going to go, unless there are other questions about this topic. Are there any other questions about how to consolidate your medications in one? Okay, we can always come back. So I want to ask Mary Pat, so in addition to medications, which are a great tool, how can routines like sleep, meals, movement, and social time better support health and avoid chronic pain?
All of those things, Dinah, like sleep, regular meals, movement, physical activity, and social supports are important because they all connect. We are a whole person. We have a mind, eyes, ears, we have balance, we need sleep. Everything is connected to our health. So for sleep, go to bed at the same time, if possible. For eating or meals, have your meals at the same time. And this helps to keep your blood sugar stable instead of up and down, up and down. Physical movement, physical activity or exercise helps your brain and reduces stress. It is so nice to see so many people here today. That is a very important social support. And having
an example first interaction with medical issue. Now, taking our medications from one pharmacy is very good, as you pointed out. But suppose there is an interaction of a new medication. So what would be the responsibility of the pharmacist? You know,
Yeah.
generally when you go to the pharmacist, when whenever it is new medication, they ask you, do you need some guidance from the pharmacist? And they will tell you. But if it is not a new medication, and if there is it's a new medication as well, and the pharmacist doesn't tell you that interaction, whose responsibility will there be? What can you do as well?
Okay.
The question is, if you get a new medication, what is the responsibility of the pharmacist to look for interactions? Because there's drug medication interactions and there's also food interactions. I will let Holly answer that.
Thank you. Holly. Holly, can you?
Telephone berjam at the wall. Telepon kan itu mute way bersama itu telepon itu kalau kan telepon itu tersebut berjam telepon pun besok. I'm just inviting them to check their phone.
Thank you for your question. I like to check for interactions before I, oh yeah, give you a moment to catch up. Thank you. I like to check for interactions before you even get the prescription. So I like to look for that before. And if I see something, I'll usually call the doctor right away. I'll give you a chance to. And when I counsel a patient, I like to talk about the potential side effects or if there might be an increased risk of something if it interacts. But if you are experiencing something, even if the pharmacist didn't tell you about it, you should either call the pharmacy then or your doctor too. Because I don't want you to just be miserable.
So as a follow-up to this question, because I think it's a really great question, Holly, you seem like a wonderful pharmacist.
I'm trying.
Maybe not every pharmacist is taking the initiative to review all of the medications. What can we do as patients to proactively ask that question to a pharmacist and make sure that someone else is reviewing? Because we're not all doctors, we don't know. We need someone else to look at this.
That's a great question. So in case something got missed, I would recommend, again, anytime you start a medication or stop a medication, if you're noticing any new side effects, to reach out to your pharmacy or your doctor. And then even before then, you can ask them to look for side effects and ask for those counseling points. If you're worried that you didn't get that checked, ask them to double check.
So I think my takeaway is when I'm filling a new prescription now for myself, for my daughter, for my father, I might ask the pharmacist, hey, this is new for us. Can you take a moment and review this alongside the list of other things we're taking? Anything we should be concerned about? It's okay to ask proactively?
Yes.
Okay. And along this line, Holly, can you talk about some common medication mistakes that you see and how people can avoid them?
One medication mistake I see is either skipping your medication, or if you weren't sure, then you take twice of your medication. I like to recommend pill organizers and setting alarms on your phone to help remind you to take your medications at the same time every day.
So I'll just underscore this again because I have seen this also in my own life. If you forget to take a dose of your medication, do not assume that it's okay to double the dose next time. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah, don't do that.
Okay. If you forget to take a dose of your medication, do not assume that it's okay to take twice as much the next time. And just again, to address the pharmacist's role in reviewing medication, Holly, how often would you recommend that somebody ask their pharmacist to review their list of medications?
I recommend that as a pharmacist, I review your medications every time you fill. That's my job. As a patient, I ask that you are also checking in on what medications you take. And check in with your pharmacist too at least once a year.
Right. So minimally once a year, maybe that's just part of your New Year's habit, but best every time you get a new medication or even every time you refill medication. So I want to talk a little bit about preparing for a doctor's appointment and having these conversations with your doctor. How many of you have been to a doctor's appointment and felt like you didn't have enough time during the visit? Okay. So I certainly have felt that way in doctor's appointments. The conversations can feel rushed. I didn't get all of my questions answered. So I want to ask Mary Pat, how can people better prepare for doctor's appointments so they can get the most out of them?
Thank you for the question. Number one, make a list. The list should be the things that are bothering you or the questions you have. The list could include if you are having pain, if you are having dizziness, if you've had any falls, if you have any questions about your medicines. Another really important thing to remember is how long have you had the problem? The doctor will ask you, how long have you had the pain? How long have you had the headache? You're the only people that know what goes on with your body. So keep a list so you can share it with your healthcare provider, your doctor.
Thank you. One question. One question that I've heard it can be useful to ask a doctor, and I want to know Mary Pat's opinion, is every now and then, should we ask our doctors, hey, is it necessary for me to be taking all of these medications, or are there ways to consolidate these? Maybe I can take something once a day instead of 3 times a day. Maybe something is no longer necessary to treat a symptom I'm no longer experiencing. Is that a question we should be asking doctors periodically during our visits?
Yes, Dinah, particularly if we are having problems managing our medications. Sometimes people will say, do I have to take it 4 times a day? Can't I take it 2 times a day? Sometimes people will say, do I have to take it? It bothers my stomach. Only you know what's going on with your body. And be honest. If you don't want to take the medication, tell the doctor. The doctor should be a partner with you.
So, okay. That's okay. Huh? Oh, so just a reminder, if folks can turn off their phones, that would be great. It really helps our interpreters. Thank you. So, Holly, are there common medications or even supplements that people often take together but should not be taken together? And can you first describe the difference between a medication and a supplement? A supplement? Yeah.
That's a great question. Medications are often going to be what you find either from a prescription or over the counter, such as in the grocery store. And supplements are often going to be additional medications like vitamins or iron or other metals to just boost for your body. That's how I can kind of describe it. And supplements can be a really useful tool. Multivitamins can add to your diet, like calcium or vitamin D. They can be useful tools for your health. Oh, I kind of want to do a butt on that. But sometimes they can interact with your other medications, which could then lead to worse health problems. So it's really important that you tell your pharmacist, even if you are on additional medications, so that they can check again that there's no interactions.
So, oh, yes.
Sorry. Question from the audience. So he's asking, there's days where he goes to church, like his medication is scheduled to be taken at 9 a.m. But there's days that he goes to church and he comes home in the evening or in the afternoon. He said, what effect does that have on how I take my medication? But what can I do to change that?
Great question. I think super common. We're all living life, right?
I hate to say this, but it depends on the medication. I'm sorry. Some medications work best in the morning. Some medications work best at night. And some medications, you take them twice a day. So if you miss the morning and then just take the afternoon, I might be concerned that they're taken too close to each other. Then I have a little more. Oh, I have just a small follow-up on this. But a lot of medications, it's okay to be a little late. That's okay. And if you're concerned, ask your pharmacist.
Medicine for blood pressure. At first it was 25. Didn't get it.
Sure.
Then increased it to 50.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't change. Now, it's a hard look at no difference. It's still the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a gentleman here who has been taking a medication. It didn't work, so they increased the dose. It didn't work, and they keep increasing the dose. So what do we do now? I have a feeling I know which medication it is. And I believe there's still room for growth, which is okay. You're still on a normal dose. But your doctor, especially if you check your blood pressure at home and it stays high, then I'd recommend checking in with the doctor again because they may either increase the dose a bit more or they might change the medication completely, which could work too. Yeah, but great job checking in on your own health.
Thank you. Right. So yeah, I'll just underscore that there are a lot of drugs sometimes meant to do the same thing. So if one type of drug, one brand of drug doesn't work for you, there might be another one that does. So don't give up.
And that's what you were saying too.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you. So I want to turn to Mary Pat and talk about the role of family members and loved ones in medication management and chronic disease management. Many of you might be supporting a loved one in managing their chronic disease. How can you do this role without kind of overstepping or becoming too controlling of the person living with a chronic disease? Mary Pat, do you have any advice for folks?
It's important to find a trusted family member, friend, or caregiver who knows about your health conditions. Many of us do not have a family member or trusted friend who knows our conditions or the medications we're taking. And people tell me, that's okay, my doctor knows what I'm taking. But your doctor is not with you all the time. So making sure that you share your health concerns and your medicines, that list of medicines you're taking, with a trusted friend or family member. And if you are the spouse, friend, caregiver, neighbor, be patient with the person who has chronic conditions. Be supportive. And help when help is needed. Sometimes people don't like to ask for help. So be respectful. And one thing you can do is to say to the person, and I will work with Holly, Holly, what would support or help look like to you? Instead of, here, Holly, let me do it. Respect the person, honor the person. They are their own expert.
That is great advice. I'm going to ask my colleagues for a quick time check so I know how much time we have. 10 minutes? Okay. So we talked a little bit about supplements, and I want to ask Holly, are there supplements that can actually help manage chronic pain and chronic illness? Or are there supplements that people should be cautious about? And I guess I'm talking about natural supplements and herbal remedies here.
There are many natural supplements and herbal remedies, especially within each cultural community, that might be useful for pain or for helping sleep or feeling more energy. I can't give a strong recommendation to use one. My strongest recommendation, though, is to bring a bottle of it to your pharmacist so that they can check the ingredients on it. There are so many extra drug interactions that are not on the bottle that a pharmacist can check for.
That's good advice. I never thought about just
Bring the whole bottle.
bringing a bottle to the
bring
pharmacist
it.
and just having them read those ingredients that mean nothing to me. I can't pronounce anything on that ingredient list, but a pharmacist will know. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna.
Oh,
yeah,
that one.
there's a couple questions, so we'll gather those.
Sparked everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Like the list is too long.
Yeah. Gosh, so much of what you both are saying is reminding me. My dad has been such a struggle with him to.
Like, does it go in your body? It interacts.
Yeah. Yeah. What do we mean by natural supplement? Okay.
Oh no, but still.
Okay.
I had a stroke at one time, and that led to arthritis of my hand. I've tried everything, but there's I couldn't find any medicine for it at all, and it hasn't healed yet. What do I have to do?
Okay. So I'm going to repeat these questions. The first question is, what do we mean by natural supplement? So great question. It might be a complicated answer. I'll let Holly answer. And then the second question is, someone had a stroke years ago and it led to arthritis, particularly in the hands. They've tried a lot of different medication, haven't found anything that really works. What advice do we have for them? So I'll hand this microphone to Holly, and then Mary Pat, if you have anything to add.
Thanks for your questions. Regarding a natural supplement, I think of these as the ingredients that can be found in nature. Some folks take extra garlic or ginger. Lots of herbal remedies. Like St. John's wort. That one has a lot of drug interactions. That one has a lot. St. John's wort. A lot of drug interactions. Yeah, it's called St. John's wort. It's one of the supplements that folks can take.
But you're saying it's a bit dangerous. Because of
I'm saying it has potential for interactions.
yeah.
So that's what I mean by natural supplements. regarding arthritis after a stroke, it depends. A lot of patients end up on blood thinning medications. And that can still interact with other medications, especially ones that might treat arthritis. Specifically for arthritis of the hands, I usually see a lot of recommendations for Advil or any naproxen or naproxen. But I would not recommend those if you are on the blood thinner medications. So I would recommend reaching out to your doctor because they might be able to prescribe a different medication. And I might also recommend there are some creams that might help.
Mary Pat, is there anything you want to add from thinking about kind of lifestyle changes or habits to help people live with this kind of pain?
Dinah asked me what I would recommend if people are living with this type of pain. If after a stroke you have a tight fist, we sometimes don't want to move our hand. But it's important to keep moving the fingers even gently. When you have arthritis, if you don't move your joints or your fingers, you're not getting blood circulation. And as Holly shared, sometimes you can do things just to the surface of the hand that can help with pain.
Thank you. Okay. So we're wrapping up, right? Oh, you have another question? Yeah, sure.
So a lot of people in the room might be doing Lent fasting right now.
Right.
So oftentimes they fast till 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them also take medication. So their question is kind of similar to what the gentleman said over there. If we're fasting and it's kind of a religious requirement, how can we fix our medication or what are the effects?
Yeah, great question.
Great question.
Okay, they heard it.
Thank you for your question. I hate to say it, check with your pharmacist. Again, many medications, it's okay to take in the afternoon. But again, if you have some medications that you take twice a day, I just would want to check that you're not doubling up on a dose.
And if somebody is fasting, do you have any recommendations for when they break that fast? Are there certain foods that might help the body absorb medications in a way, or certain things to avoid?
As many of you know, some medications say take on an empty stomach. Some say take with food. Many of them, thankfully, either way. But the bottle usually tells you, and calling the pharmacist to double check is always a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we're wrapping up. So I'm going to ask our panelists to just quickly leave us with, if someone can only focus on just one thing. Mary Pat, you started us off encouraging us to think about what's the one thing that's causing me the most discomfort? What's the one thing I can change? Can you share what's the one thing you would recommend someone do this month to manage their health and chronic disease?
Thank you, Dinah. Please, please, if you don't have your own medication list and a list of your conditions, like high blood pressure or history, had a stroke, make that list this month and share it with a trusted friend, caregiver, or family member.
So one way you can share this list can be via email, if you're comfortable with that. Would you recommend that or not?
It's technically not HIPAA compliant.
But with a loved one?
It's not HIPAA.
Oh,
It's not
okay,
HIPAA,
yeah,
technically.
I figured. Okay, forget what I said. Okay.
Okay.
So one more question from the audience.
Everyone's just so excited. I love it.
Like day and night, I have this pain. It's just my skin feels like it's burning, and I have a kind of symptom of arthritis. I didn't find any medicine for that. What can I do?
Okay.
Can we discuss that after? We'll wrap this up and
Sabi, nuwadaan na mo. Mas wadaan na, kumizara na. Dito program na mo yung sa kasukote.
So Holly's going to connect directly with a participant after to discuss a specific concern, but I will ask Holly to leave us with her one thing you would encourage people to do this month.
the good news is it's still one thing. I agree with Mary Pat. Make a list. So many of my answers today were talk with the pharmacist. And if you have that list already, that helps me so much. So that's a really important step.
Okay. Well, I feel like I learned some useful things today. My takeaway is your pharmacist is your friend.
Yes.
So pick one pharmacy, consolidate your medications there, and then really use that pharmacist as part of your care team. Have them review your medications, ask them your questions. Don't give up. If you're experiencing pain that you haven't found the right medication or the right dosage for, keep asking that pharmacist, keep asking your doctor. There might be something else out there. And then beware of supplements, just because something is found in nature doesn't mean it's always safe if you're also taking other medications. So ask your pharmacist if it is safe. And know that there are things beyond medications that can also help. That could be having meals at a regular time to keep your blood sugar consistent, getting sufficient amounts of sleep. So know there's a lot of things within your control to also help manage a chronic condition. And be kind to yourself and those around us who are experiencing chronic conditions. It's not easy for both the person experiencing it and loved ones and caregivers who may be trying to support. So lean on pharmacists and others to help you in that journey. So with that, I will thank all of you for your great questions and making this a great discussion. I want to thank Holly and Mary Pat for being such knowledgeable experts. And thank you again to the East African Senior Center for hosting us today. And we look forward to being back again someday. Okay, thank you everybody. And big thank you to our interpreters.
Oh yes,
not an easy
thank
job.
you so much.